Hey guys, Conor here, and I wanted to talk about sugar snap peas, shelling peas, those kind of peas being done with the Paperpot transplanter. I think it's the best way to do peas. I've done peas doing direct seeding, trying to do it where you soak them first, then you direct seed, doing it in wind strip trays. Before Paperpot, I preferred wind strip, where I would just plant 2 rows under the trellis. But Paperpot is absolutely the quickest. Um, the key to it is getting the peas at the right stage, and that's where you want to begin planting them when they're about 3 inches high. It's before they grab onto each other too much. But peas, when they get about this high, especially in a prop house where it's warm, that's where they start to take off in growth. So you got to get them right at that point before they get really, really messy. But I always soak them first, and I measure them out. So I'll use a couple of cups per tray. Some people do less. I've seen people do like 1 seed per. I like to do at least 3 per cell. It's a lot per cell, but we're just trying to get it started. And the more we have, the better. The seed is inexpensive, but not having enough peas down your trellis is more problematic. Okay, and then we're gonna add some water. Okay, and so when you're soaking peas, you just want to get it not only covered, but the peas are going to soak up a bunch of water. So you want to think about that. It's better to add more than less. Okay, so you want to just overnight is more than enough. Overnight, it's going to swell up. It's going to be ready to germinate. If you left it for 2 days, it's probably going to be okay. Right? Maybe even 3 days. But at some point, it's going to start to ferment, and the seeds are going to lose viability. All right, so after a day, you want to strain your peas. And I just got this big colander, restaurant colander, years ago for nothing. And it works great for this. It also works for if you're making pea shoots, or even sunflower shoots, or any types of shoots where you're soaking something. Because not only do you have to strain the water out, but you want to rinse them, okay? And you want to rinse them really well. You want to get all the stank off them. You want to make sure the water runs nice and clear. Okay, while that drains, I'm going to set up my tray. Okay, and peas are always a 2-inch. I want them right next to each other. If any don't work out, peas being 4 inches apart is fine. 6 inches apart is fine, but why not have them nice and close together? Because it really makes no difference. But it just reduces risk, which is, I think, what you always want to be doing on a farm. And the 2 inches, the easiest to plant, right? In terms of ease of using a transplanter, regardless of the transplanter, 2 inches is the easiest, then comes a 4-inch, and then the 6-inch is the most difficult. And that's only because trying to get everything to stand up in line, the more distance between them, the worse it is. So I would always rather use a 4-inch and double it to an 8-inch than use a 6-inch. Okay, so take my tray. Okay, I'm going to fill it. Okay, and with Paperpot, you want to press it in because the cells are so small. It was a 264 in this small space. Okay, that's good. definitely want to dibble. Very important step. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to bring it over there and put the peas in. You know, on this, for this, you just don't need a drop seeder. It's just going to be a hassle. You don't even need this anymore, right? Because you only need to leave your stretcher on if you're using a seeder so it doesn't collapse. But for this, it doesn't matter. And here, I'm just going to spread it out over the top, and I'm trying to make sure I get every cell. Okay? Right? At least 1 or 2 per. Want to make sure they don't go down the edges, but it doesn't really matter. Okay? Very easy to do. I just don't want any blank spots. Usually the edges is where that happens. Okay? And when you dibble, you can see the dibbles easily. And that's going to help you figure out if you covered the entire tray or not. And that actually looks great. Now, one pointer I can give for peas, if you don't have a germ chamber, is use a bottom tray. Okay, this is just Paperpot tray with a solid bottom. Okay, so, right, it nests in there, but it doesn't actually touch the floor, so it's just going to wick it up, which is perfect. And just giving it a water, it's going to put water in that bottom tray. And you can do that just until germination, because, you know, drying out is the worst thing that can happen, and then you lose your whole tray, or you get spotty germination. But with right, a little water on the bottom, it's going to make it perfect. All right, now once these start to grow, the peas are going to be about this high, and that's when you're going to start transplanting, and about that high, and that's when you're going to do it, because not only will the plants tangle into each other, so will the roots, and they just don't come apart as easily. Usually I'm only planting 100 feet of peas at one time, so like, you know, physically pulling them apart, not a big deal, so I wouldn't throw it out. It just makes it less pleasant, and I find they just do better quickly when they are the right size. Too small and they're going to dry out, right? Because they haven't had time to get the root down. So right there, that 3-inch, 4-inch, perfect. That's exactly where you want it to be. One point that I should make is, you know, you can't get out there to seed when it's freezing cold and it hurts the seed, and the mice and the voles are hungry. That's why this is so great. And you can do it inside. It just, you're the first one to market with peas. Anyway, give it a try. I'm sure you'll be successful with it. Till next time.